Hello and welcome to another podcast episode. It's been a busy week. I've been back from Norway since late Thursday, so Friday was my first day at home, and it's Wednesday today, so I've been home for less than a week. I'm going away again tomorrow for workshops at Black Sheep Wool, and then I'm home late Saturday. I'm home Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I go away again next Wednesday for Stitch Festival. Still some spaces on my Stitch Festival workshops. I'll link them below. I'm teaching filet crochet, which is this kind of stuff, filet crochet, continental knitting, knitted button bands, picking up the knitted button bands and one row buttonholes, and seaming knitted fabric and Intarsia colorwork. So good selection of workshops. I'm doing continental knitting and filet crochet twice. Continental knitting are nearly full, so make sure if you're interested in those you don't leave it till the day because you may not get anything. So I'm teaching Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and then I'm heading home on the Saturday evening, so that's next week. All the details will be linked below. And this week I'm off to Black Sheep Wools. There are still spaces on my workshop on Saturday for brioche improvers, I think, or at least it was a few days ago when I looked. I'll link that below as well. More news about more Black Sheep Wools workshops and some other things, but let's get on with this podcast episode. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website, YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So before we go any further, let me just quickly tell you about a couple of things so I don't forget. I have 25% off my website at the moment. I think it's valid until the end of next week, so 22nd of March is the last day. I'll put the code and everything on the screen and I'll link below. So everything on my website, you can get 25% off everything. Yarn, beads, notions, my books, Easy Lace Knits and Beaded Lace Knitting. So go and check it out. And then I'm teaching at Black Sheep Wools this week. Apart from our brioche knitting, the other one, Friday's fully booked, brioche knitting, there's still a space, I think. I'm teaching at the end of April, but I think that's fully booked. And then I'm teaching again in June. So 19th of June, I'm doing filet crochet again. So we're going to be working on this scarf, I think. I'm teaching this at the end of April at Black Sheep Wools for a full day. So we'll see how it goes then, and then I'll adjust after that if I need to. So filet crochet on the 19th of June, top down raglan on the 20th of June. I think that might be fully booked. But you'll learn how to knit a little mini top-down raglan to learn all the techniques, and then I'll also show you, and you'll get like a worksheet so you can work out your own math, so you can knit a raglan to your own size. And then I'm back again in July, 17th of July, Orenburg lace knitting. So Orenburg is very fine lace knitting from a part of Russia. It's traditional for lace knitting, just like Shetland is. And they're beautiful, beautiful shawls, but a lot easier than they actually look. So I'm teaching that again, I think in April at Black Sheep Wools. So Friday, 17th of July, I'll pop up a picture on the screen. And then 18th of July, I'm teaching two-colour brioche again. So basic two-colour brioche. If you're new to brioche knitting, that's the workshop for you. Last time I taught it, it booked up really, really quickly. So make sure if you're interested in those, don't wait, because they do tend to book up very, very quickly. That's it. Let's not do any more promotions. Okay, so what have I got to talk about today? What I've been knitting, whether or not I finished that purple jumper, and I've got a new project on the needles, which I probably shouldn't have cast on, but there is a very specific reason and rule for that project. So we'll get to that as well. Plus, when I came back from Norway, there was a book here that really surprised me. So let's talk about the book first, so I don't forget. I have contributed over the years to loads of American yarn companies, magazines and books. So it used to be, I don't know if they still do it, but it used to be the publisher that publishes Vogue Knitting. They used to do loads of magazines and books for other yarn companies. So they've done books and magazines for Juniper Moon, Malabrigo, Debbie Bliss. Used to do Debbie Bliss magazine, Noro. So I've had patterns published in various of their publications. Anyway, this arrived, Malabrigo, Timelessness. It's quite a big book. It's £25 in the UK. I don't know how many patterns are in there, but there are a lot. And I was like, oh, I haven't done anything for Malabrigo lately. What's this? So I started flicking through the book, and I should have found this before I started filming, but I did not. The problem with this is because it's a pattern that's been published before, I don't get paid again, which is a little bit annoying, but those are the rules. But it's a pattern I've done for Malabrigo many, many years ago. I also taught some workshops around it at Spinner Yarn when it was owned by the previous owner, because when that magazine that my pattern was in came out, the owner of Spinner Yarn, because she stocked a lot of Malabrigo, asked Malabrigo if I could use that pattern to teach workshops at her shop, which I did a few times. So it's a bleaker shawl. It's marked as intermediate. I would say easy to intermediate. But it's basically two colours. They've obviously knit up a new sample because that was not the original colour I did it in. The colours of the Swedish flag and Ukrainian flag are what I think about when I see yellow and blue together. But it's a asymmetrical shawl that can be worn as a scarf. It alternates between garter stitch and lace, very simple lace. Even if you're new to lace, it shouldn't be a problem. And it has like a sawtooth edging on the side. So you can wear it. I've got to try and not show you the pattern. Wear it as a scarf. It's quite big. Is the wingspan, so the top edge is 54 inches, 137 centimeters, and the depth of the widest point is 20.5 inches, 52 centimeters. You can bundle it right up around your neck like that if you want to. So loads of different ways of wearing it. That shows the shape a little bit more. And that's also some loads of photos in this book. That's probably why it's so thick, because it's loads of photos. So it's a really nice book. It has loads of photos of each sample. It also has some like beautiful pictures from, I'm assuming, Uruguay. It's Malabrigo? Yes, Uruguay. I was thinking, it's Malabrigo from Uruguay? So it's a really nice book. Loads of like scenic pictures and stuff like that. And quite a long introduction where they talk about their different yarns. So if you like Malabrigo, it's a really good book. And then it's got, I don't know how many projects there are. I don't know whether to do a separate like review of this book or not. There are socks and accessories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 socks and accessories, cows and shawls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cardigans and sweaters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6, 12, 17 patterns in total. But it's an absolutely beautiful book and some really lovely patterns in it. Maybe I'll do a review of it. I'm assuming it's available now everywhere you can buy books. Like I said, it's quite thick. And I wasn't expecting it. Frustrating thing I find, and this is not anything to do with this publisher at all, that's just how the industry works, is that when they republish your patterns, you don't necessarily get paid again, which is a little bit frustrating. But it's a very nice book. I have loads of books over there that I've contributed to over the years, and it's nice to keep them for the future. Okay, so that's that. Now let's see what I've been knitting. So let's talk about my new project first. So I grabbed this project bag. It's a lot brighter in person than it looks on the screen. It's actually a toiletry bag. And I got it in Spain years ago from a company called Bimba y Lola. And it's a toiletry bag. It's got a pocket on the front and a pocket on the back. I sometimes use it on holiday as a handbag, but I also quite often use it as a project bag. And it just happened to be next to me, so I grabbed it. Before Christmas, I got this yarn from Truly Hooked. She did a Formula 1 inspired collection. And this one, if you're into Formula 1, can you guess which colour this is? It's Lando's helmet. If you're not into Formula 1, you might be thinking, pardon. But basically, Lando Norris, who won the World Championship in Formula 1 last year, this is the colours of his helmet. And I must admit, when I was looking at the previews of all the yarns that she dyed, I was like, none of them are really my colours. But I really wanted one skein from the collection because I am a big Formula 1 fan. So I thought I'll go for this. It is very bright. Probably brighter than it looks on screen. It looks sort of like a neon green, light green in some lights and neon yellow in other lights. I actually saw Verity from Truly Hooked. She's knitted a sweater in one of the Formula 1 yarns. I think it might have been Audi, and it's grey with like speckles, and I wish I'd bought that one. She'd just done another pre-order for them, for that collection, and I wish I'd ordered, but I missed it, so that's okay. So anyway, Formula 1 season started last weekend. My daughter was home. She subscribes to the Formula 1 channel, so we were watching it. We didn't watch it live because it was from Australia, so it was almost like 3 in the morning or something here. But when we got up on both Saturday and Saturday we put it on and watched it qualifying, and then Sunday we put it on and watched a race. We watched it in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, it was interesting. A lot of controversy. If you are a Formula 1 fan, you'll know about that. But I was thinking maybe I'll start some socks with this yarn and knit on it when I watch Formula 1. So that's what I've done. Toe-up socks. I've just done the toe where that marker is where the toe finishes. I've done the toe plus 1 round. I didn't knit for the whole race because I wanted to work on my purple sweater as well. So I didn't knit on this during qualifying. I wound a yarn, I think Saturday evening. Wound it by hand, as you can see, because that's why it's that kind of ball, which is a lot easier to knit from, in my opinion. And then I started knitting on it when we watched the race, and then once I got the toe done, I then went back and knitted on my sweater because I thought I've got stuff I need to finish. I think there's another race this weekend in China. I will probably watch the highlights. I'm considering subscribing to the F1 channel, but I haven't done it yet, but I might do that and then watch it. I'm not getting up and watching it live because I'm assuming it's at like stupid o'clock in the morning again, so I'm not doing that. But that's my Formula 1 socks. I will work on that when I watch Formula 1. When this weekend, I won't be able to watch the qualifying on Saturday because I'm away and teaching. So if I watch it on Sunday, I may have to work on my deadline project. I do have a deadline project. Deadline is 2 weeks from when this video is live. So when I'm filming this, 2 weeks and 2 days, and I have only done about that much. My goal this week was to finish the body up to the underarms by Sunday evening, which meant I would have had to do from Tuesday, yesterday, to Sunday. I would have had to do 6 centimeters a day, and I did about 4 centimeters yesterday. So I'm well behind. So finished a rib. I'm now on the stocking stitch, so hopefully it should move a little bit quicker. But yeah, I am a little bit behind and I need to catch up on that. So I'm going to take that away with me this weekend. The problem is it is mohair, so like today I'm wearing a black top. I'm not going to work on it this morning when I take my break before I go to Pilates, because I don't want to turn up at Pilates covered in mohair fluff. So I'll work on my sweater this morning, my purple sweater, and then this afternoon and evening I'll work on the deadline project, and I will take it away with me to work on in the evenings, and I need to really get on with it, which means I have not finished this purple sweater, which I'd really hope to finish. I finished the body on Saturday, I think. Can't remember now. So the body is finished. I haven't actually tried it on, so I have no idea if it's long enough, but I had 3 sequin balls left, and I need 2 and a bit for the sleeve, and I need to do the neckline. So I do have a little bit left. So at one point I was thinking, before when I got to the rib on the body, I was thinking, do I put it on hold, knit the sleeve and the neckline, and then use the rest on the body? But then I thought maybe it's a good idea to have a little bit left as well, like half a ball left in case I need to do any repairs, because that's happened a few times. So I just finished the body. I think it's long enough. I hope it's long enough, but we'll see. I haven't actually tried it on. And then I picked those stitches for the sleeve, and I did a shorter sleeve cap shaping, which finishes here, and I've done that much on the sleeve. So I've started decreasing now, which means it's starting to go a lot quicker. Worked on it a lot over the weekend. And then since Monday, I don't think I've touched it at all. I may have done a little bit Monday evening, but because I've been working on this deadline project, and I've been working on swatches for Stitch Festival next week. Now I'm teaching seaming knitted fabric next week, and I think in the description it does say to bring a couple of swatches. So if you come into that class and you can bring a couple of knitted swatches, they don't have to be very big, even just like 10 by 10 centimeters stocking stitch is fine. It would be so helpful. I have some that I knitted for Harrogate, knit and stitch and Harrogate, that I haven't used, but I also used some of the ones I had left over for other finishing techniques workshops that I've taught since, because I've taught it a lot lately. So I haven't got as many swatches as I thought I did, so I do need to knit up a few more of those over the next week as well. So I'm going to take a ball of DK yarn and 4mm needles away with me, and I think when I go into services for a break on the way up and on the way home from black sheep balls, I might just work on that and try and get 3 or 4 swatches knitted. Also for my button band workshop, we need something to pick up stitches from, because we won't have time for everyone to knit like a strip that we can pick up stitches from. So I need to pick, needs to be about 10 centimeters and about that deep, I guess. Doesn't have to be particularly big. At the moment, I think there's only like 10 or less than that on the workshop, so I need to knit some of that. I might do that on the train up to London next week. They also need steam pressing, and I think there are irons at the hotel. I'm actually staying at an Easy hotel. I watched a few reviews of the hotel, the actual Easy hotel I'm staying in, and the bedrooms are tiny. There's enough room for the bed. There's like 2 hangers to hang your clothes on, and there's a telly, and there's a bathroom. The bathroom looks okay, but the bedroom, there's barely any space around the bed. I've no idea where I'm going to put my suitcase. I did opt for one with windows. You can choose an Easy hotel without windows. So if you want to know what it's like, I'm going to vlog next week when I'm there, so you'll see it in a couple of weeks. But yes, I don't know. It's quite close to where I'm teaching, so that's a good thing. But anyway, I was hoping I might finish this by next week, but I got to film early next week. I got to film on Tuesday because I'm going away on Wednesday next week, so I don't know. Hoping I'll finish it, but I need to prioritize this deadline project first, because that has to be done on time. There's no deadline's already been extended, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do it, because it would have been due the day after I came back from Norway, I think it was, or was it this week? Anyway, I couldn't have done it if the deadline hadn't been extended. So there can't be any extensions, and because I'm away next week as well, I'm hoping I won't have to take it away with me, but I may have to. We'll see. Don't really want to knit mohair on the train and in the hotel and stuff, because you just end up covered in it. The final project is one I haven't really worked on since I got home, but it's my Cornwall hat, which is, I'm not going to put it on because I'm warm enough as it is. It's a double layer hat, and the first few I made in a single colour and without a fold up brim, so they were a bit shorter than this. And then I decided to make this one, which is a bit longer, so you can fold up the brim, so you can have it with a contrasting brim that you fold up. This is knitted in Allegria, Monarchs Uruguay Allegria. So that's my Cornwall hat. And I've knitted one Cornwall hat for Simon, which he wears a lot. So when I was in Norway, I was looking for an easy project. So I got some, what is it? Hang on. I have a ball of yarn here. Drops Alpaca 4-ply. Yeah, 4-ply. It has about 167 meters per 50 gram. So I got that and that color. Or they're both a bit dark, but anyway. So I started with the purple, and when I left Norway, I was just past, so that's where I finished the crown shaping. And I think when I left Norway, I was just past here. I knitted on this when I left Norway. I knitted on this at the airport for a couple hours, and when I was having dinner in London at the pub, I had about half an hour or so to knit after I'd eaten before I knocked my drink on the floor and decided to pack up my stuff and leave. because I was a bit embarrassed that I knocked my drink. But anyway, so I knitted on this. Then when I got on the train, I switched to knitting on my jumper. I think I talked about a train journey last week. It was a bit of a disaster. When we got on the train, there was no seat reservations showing, or the carriage. On the carriages, there's like letters, and none of that was working. So I just took a seat because I thought maybe they've just cancelled it, because they will do that sometimes, especially if there's a carriage missing or something like that. So I took a seat close to the front of the train because it tends to be quieter. And then just before we were about to leave, pull out of the station, they switched all the seat reservations on. So somebody turned up and said, "Sorry, you're sitting in my seat." And I was like, "What?" And then I realized I was something like 4 or 5 carriages away from where I should be. So I was trying to make my way through the carriages, but it was so busy that the first time I got the 2 seats that were free, I just sat down there, because you can see if they got green lights, then that means they're not reserved. So I made sure I got 2 seats that weren't reserved for the whole way. So I sat down there, and then this last minute, this lady came and sat next to me, and she just wouldn't stop talking. But then, because there were problems, there were signalling problems and stuff, she had to get off at Reading and get a different train. Reading is about half an hour out of London, so then I got 2 seats myself. We were delayed all the way to Tiverton Parkway in Devon, and then I knew there was going to be a bus replacement, so I got off there. There was a bus replacement to Plymouth, and because we were running late, when we got to Plymouth, the train for Cornwall had left like 5 minutes before. The train manager on the train from London to Tiverton, I asked him if the replacement bus would wait for us at Tiverton, and he said yes, they'll wait for us. And I said, what about the train at Plymouth? And he said, I think they might wait, but I'm not sure. But he said it'll be about half an hour later. Well, it's 45 minutes later, so we just missed this. I had to sit at Plymouth for like 40 minutes, then got the train home, which is only 20 minutes. I mean, someone could have picked me up from Plymouth, but I thought I might as well just wait for it. And then it meant my train, in total, I was 45 minutes or 44 minutes delayed, which meant I could apply for delay repay. If your train in the UK is more than 15 minutes late, you can apply for delay repay, I think it's called, across all the train companies. So if your train is delayed more than 15 minutes, apply, because you'll get some of your money back. It's on a sliding scale, and it depends on what ticket you have. Anyway, my ticket was 2, even though it was a return ticket, it was 2 singles, because I was cheapest, and the one coming home was twice as much as the one going up to London 2 weeks earlier. And because I was 45 minutes delayed, I got half my money back. So that's quite nice. So I didn't mind the delay, really, even though I got home an hour later than I planned to. At least I got some money back. Anyway, that's where I got on the hat. So I was going to just measure it against this one to see. I was going to take this with me this weekend and knit when if I go into services, if I go out for a meal, something like that. But I'm thinking I need to really knit on these squares for my workshops next week. So I got that far. So I've got that much left. So more than I realized, actually. I might pack this weekend just in case. But this will be my main project, I think, when I go to London next week. I will work on this probably on the train, unless I have to bring my deadline sweater. But when I'm in London on the Wednesday, I'm planning to do a bit of sightseeing, because I'm getting the first train up on Wednesday, and then I'm going to go and dump my luggage at the hotel. Drop it on the floor. I'm going to go and dump my luggage at the hotel, and then do sightseeing for the rest of the day, and then have a bit of a gap on the Thursday, I think it is. I have about a 4.5 hour gap in the afternoon. And I was going to just walk over to Loop and have a look and find a coffee shop, but I'm thinking, can I do something else? I've been looking at stuff I can do, but the problem is I'll probably be worrying about getting back in case there's any trouble on the tube or buses, or, I'll probably be a bit worried about getting back in time, because I can't be late, obviously, for my workshop. And then Friday, I've got a bit of a break in the afternoon. Saturday, I got a bit of a break, and then I'm heading home. I can just take that with me when I'm out and about exploring things, take it with me to Stitch Festival, so I can knit on it between classes and that kind of thing. So hopefully we might get onto the second colour next week. But this week, my main priorities are to work on my deadline project as much as possible and try and finish the sleeve on that sweater, but I'm not taking it away with me. So I'm going to work on it this morning, and then I'm going to work on, I want to try and do 10 centimeters on my deadline sweater today. So from lunchtime onwards, I'll work on that, because it doesn't matter if I get my black top covered in mohair fluff. And then I'll take that away with me and work on it in the evenings while I'm away, and then probably take the swatches I need to knit for the workshops next week to work on out and about while I'm away this next few days. I'm hoping I can finish that sweater by the end of this week so I can show it to you next week. But we'll see. It'd be nice if I could actually wear it in London. I don't even know if it fits properly, because I haven't really tried it on properly, so I'm just hoping it will fit. Anyway, that's it for today. Sorry if this video is a little bit scattered. I feel a bit scattered at the moment, mainly because I'm just sitting here thinking all the stuff I need to finish for Stitch Festival. You're going to check out my 25% off my website. The code will be on the screen, valid until the 22nd of March. I nearly said October there. 22nd of March, 25% off everything on my website. So do go and check that out. And don't forget to check out Stitch Festival. If you want to come to Black Sheep Wools tomorrow for brioche improvers, go and make sure there's still a space available and book it. And check out my workshops for Black Sheep Wools in June and July. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.